Connecticut Voice Out Loud is proudly sponsored by Middlesex Health and Foxwoods Resort Casino.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Connecticut Voice Out Loud. I'm your host, Hillary Russo, here to share some of the most inspiring stories from the LGBTQIA+ community and their allies from across this great state. Thanks for joining us. As Connecticut begins to open its doors after a long year facing the pandemic, signs of hope are all around us. From new vaccines to new adventures, and bumping up your self-improvement routine to stepping forward when it comes to inclusivity. We begin tonight by taking those first steps. Jocelyn Mamenta reports.
In the midst of this pandemic, the Community Foundation of Greater New Haven is stepping forward to address the impact of COVID-19 on the community and to advance racial equity. I sat down with President and CEO Will Ginsburg to find out more about this historic step.
Will Ginsburg, thanks so much for joining us.
Jocelyn, it's lovely to see you as always. Thank you.
The Community Foundation for Greater New Haven is one of the oldest, largest, and most successful community foundations in the country. Still, there are people not familiar with it. How do you impact the community, and tell us about its mission?
Well, the Community Foundation really is the embodiment of 90 years of generous people in Greater New Haven. We are the community's charitable endowment. We have assets approaching $800 million at this point. We make more than $30 million a year in grants in the charitable sector in Greater New Haven. This is the community's generosity at work, and 90 years of generosity that has built that endowment.
What did you learn during this pandemic that led the Community Foundation to take on an unprecedented initiative called Stepping Forward?
We pivoted almost immediately, and we focused almost entirely last spring on the impact that COVID was having on charitable organizations and social service organizations in our community. And the impact was enormous. And by Memorial Day last year, we had pretty much spent our resources, our grant-making resources for 2020. So we spent the summer really looking at what the impact was going to be. We saw this tremendous outburst of racial consciousness, and after George Floyd's murder in Minneapolis and other terrible incidents that everybody knows about, and we saw new energy and new ideas and new leaders emerging on racial issues in our community. So we felt that this was a moment, an extraordinary moment, both of need in our community and of opportunity to create a more equitable community.
Stepping Forward is a 3-year commitment. Will it take more than 3 years to achieve what you want to do?
Of course it will. These are big issues. For the next 3 years, we're going much deeper, and we're generating $15 million in additional spending over and above what we would normally do.
Will, what is the message you want to send to people who are watching?
Well, I think the message is stepping forward. The message is that the needs in our community are deep. COVID has had a huge impact, and the opportunity to advance racial equity is right before us. We're so fortunate in this community, Jocelyn. So much commitment, so much civic spirit. As I said, our strategic plan is opportunity and equity, and this is a moment when we can advance opportunity and advance equity and build a stronger community in Greater New Haven.
For more information about Stepping Forward and how you can help, go to cfgnh.org. For Connecticut Voice, I'm Jocelyn Mamenta.
Coming up, kicking those bad habits to the curb. You're watching Connecticut Voice Out Loud.
Welcome back to The Wonder, Foxwoods Resort Casino. Rooms starting at $69.
Ready? Ready?
Maybe the definition of family is simple. It's everyone you trust to take care of you when you really need it. Middlesex Health, the smarter choice for care.
Connecticut's newest sensation is Connecticut Voice, in print, on social, and on television, with Connecticut Voice Out Loud. It's hot topics and inspiring stories from award-winning journalists every season. In the latest issue, we spend time with Kyone Wolf, a powerhouse you may know from Connecticut Public Radio. We delve into the juicy 1970s history of After Dark magazine, and we spring ahead to a better you with 7 suggestions for positive changes in your life. Connecticut Voice. Get your free subscription at CTVoice.com.
When it comes to making positive changes in your life, small steps can create some space for extraordinary shifts. Dawn Ennis sat down with one life coach who shared some powerful self-improvement tips to kickstart your day and beyond.
Being LGBTQ sometimes feels like being a ship lost at sea, looking for a lighthouse to guide the way. There's a lot of pressure right now with the seasons changing to spring ahead, to wring out our bad habits. So how are you going to do that? Well, I know just the guy. Tony Ferriolo is an author, inspirational speaker, life coach, and trainer from New Haven. He says his goal is to inspire you to live the life you've always imagined. You know, with the seasons changing, all those promises we made at New Year's, all gone by the wayside. It's just not happening. So Tony, what advice do you have for the LGBT community to make some self-improvement steps?
Yeah, so the first step would be to realize that you're worthy of this and you deserve it. You deserve to be healthy, you deserve to be happy, you know, setting goals that are doable, right? So I'll give you a good example. When I started my wellness journey in last July, my plan was to get to the gym every morning at 4 o'clock and run on the treadmill. The problem is I'm not a morning person. So I was setting myself up for failure. Set goals that are achievable and doable, one thing at a time. Baby step it into a healthier life.
Tony, we have to be honest with ourselves. What can we change? What can't we change?
You only can change the things you have control over, but you can also change something that people don't realize they can change is their mindset, right? You need to reset your mindset a lot of times when you're starting a journey, especially if you've come from a traumatic past, right? So let's think about this. A lot of LGBTQ people haven't had an easy journey, and they're used to living in a place where they're surviving life, not living life. And you have to reset that mindset that your history doesn't have to dictate your future, right? That you might have that voice inside of you that says, you can't do this. You're not worthy of this. And you have to tell that voice to kind of like, shut up. That's not who I am. I could do it. And I'm going to tell you, I average about 2.5 miles of walk a day. And when I first started, a quarter of a mile in, that voice would say, turn around, you can't do this. You can't do this. And most of the time I would turn around and come home. And then I started saying out loud, reset the mindset. And people look at me on the street and they're like, what the hell is this guy saying? We need to reset that, because here's the deal. You're worthy of this and you can do it. You can do it. And sometimes when you've come from a traumatic past, sitting in happiness and sitting in wellness is uncomfortable because you're not used to it. Reach out to people that are going to support you in your journey. It is so super important.
As soon as I saw myself in the mirror, my life just totally changed. And I became an activist for my community, and I work a lot with the youth.
It's been more than a decade, and Tony is still counseling young people who are trans and non-binary and their families.
Those kids and those families need to be guided to a happier and healthier life too, right? Every human, no matter how old they are, needs to feel loved, accepted, and heard, and a sense of belonging in this world. And there are no exceptions. So they need to reach out to organizations that can guide them and help them.
What about negative people and places that give you bad vibes? What's your advice, Tony?
Only surround yourself with people who love and honor you, who are going to support you. Don't hang out with the people as soon as they find out you're on a wellness kick, offer you a cupcake. You get what I'm saying? Those people need to be put to the side. Kindly, but put to the side.
What's your advice about goal setting?
Yeah, so set one goal, not an overwhelming goal. Set one that you could achieve, and then once you achieve that, set another one, and then set another one, and then set another one. And you will be closer and closer and closer to your main goal, which is wellness and happiness.
when you hit a milestone, or if you trip and fail, what do you say we should do?
Yeah, so celebrate those milestones, man. Post them on social media. You'll never know who you're going to inspire to be just like you and to set goals to a healthier life.
Tony's absolutely right. Share your success with us. Go to CT Voice Mag at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and tell us how you're doing. For Connecticut Voice Out Loud, I'm Dawn Ennis.
When we come back, my story with one infectious disease doctor who shares the good news on vaccinating Connecticut. Keep it here.
My name is Dawn Gagliardi. I am on the Corrado group at Coldwell Banker. I am a real estate agent and I work with both buyers and sellers. I currently live in West Hartford, Connecticut, which is actually where I grew up. I cover all of the greater Hartford area and all of Connecticut. I also have a great team of realtors and connections all throughout the country, so I can help people buy or sell a home anywhere in the country. I'm able to help my clients buy their perfect homes and sell their homes for top dollar.
Ready? Ready?
Maybe the definition of family is simple. It's everyone you trust to take care of you when you really need it. Middlesex Health, the smarter choice for care.
Welcome back to The Wonder, Foxwoods Resort Casino. Rooms starting at $69.
At the time we recorded this episode, the CDC reported that over 30% of Connecticut's population have received at least one dose of their vaccine, and 17% were fully vaccinated. But what does that mean for residents of the state? And where do we go from here? I sat down with the chair of infectious disease at Middlesex Health to get the answers. Doctor, thank you so much for being here. It is such a pleasure to have you on Connecticut Voice Out Loud, sharing your expertise in the area of infectious disease and about the pandemic and COVID. Dr. Alina Filizov, she is the chair of infectious disease and also the hospital epidemiologist at Middlesex Health. And it is such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me to your program.
Where are you seeing things as somebody who is in your line of work and how the vaccines are working and moving forward?
Thanks, Hillary. So this is an exciting time, but it's a very important time. Believe it or not, we are really in a race. We have to immunize people really fast before the virus starts mutating even more and causes another wave of infections. Because of really severe outbreaks we had so far, it's really important that everybody who is qualified to receive one of the available 3 vaccines, again, exciting times, we have 3 vaccines now, we encourage them to sign up and receive the dose. So we have Moderna vaccine, Pfizer vaccine, which is both of them are 2 doses mRNA vaccines, and then we have Johnson & Johnson that was just approved. All these vaccines are excellent protection for our patients, for our healthcare workers, for everyone who is part of this pandemic, which is the whole population of the world, to curb this pandemic so we can return to normal lives as soon as possible.
What kind of precautions need to be taken, even if you are vaccinated?
Unfortunately, until we have very low numbers across the country, we have to maintain the same level of precautions. Masking, social distancing, hand washing, avoiding crowds, the same kind of precautions. When we have numbers, and again, not just about your state, but about the whole country, when the whole country, and hopefully the world as well, have this pandemic under control and more people are vaccinated, then we will see a significant improvement in the number of cases and obviously as a result, a number of variants and secondary cases.
With the LGBTQIA plus community, your work with Middlesex, and also there being a really strong transgender medicine program at Middlesex, are there certain precautions that need to be taken for those who are in transition, the transgender community, as far as the medications they might be taking or people that are considering the transition? Does it impact them at all, this vaccine, any differently from any other community?
No, it doesn't. So anyone, whether they in transition or not, have the same risks of side effects, for example, and really similar risks of exposure to the COVID virus itself. So no, there would be no difference in precautions or advice for somebody to receive the vaccine. And as you know, our state or many other states using an age-based approach to the vaccination. So it wouldn't matter if you're a 50-year-old in transition or 50-year-old woman or 50-year-old man. You would qualify based on certain criteria when your time comes.
In the time of COVID and the pandemic, it's already impacting people on a whole, being isolated, social distancing. What advice would you give for a community like the trans community that tends to be isolated already and kind of alienated in many respects? How do we nurture that community and make sure they're protected and they're nurtured during this time? And I know Middlesex has a number of programs for that as well.
Yes, I mean, it's definitely a big problem for multiple communities, but especially to transgender community, which needs support even under normal conditions. So we do have group therapies that our program, transgender program, is sort of sponsoring. Obviously, we have active behavioral health practices and services that somebody who needs extra help can apply for those. If the person comes to the emergency room with psychological issues, psychiatric issues, there could be a referral to behavioral health and group therapy as well, or group support as well, for them to find people in their community and in the relatable community to kind of share their views. And as we are communicating via Zoom, this is a platform that has brought many people together, even though they can't get together physically, at least on an emotional level. I think I would encourage everybody to take advantage.
Doctor, thank you so much for sharing your time, your expertise, and keeping us in the know and abreast of everything going on with the pandemic. It's a pleasure, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Hillary.
The state is getting back on track. When we come back, how one resort and casino is taking every opportunity to celebrate.
Ready? Ready?
Maybe the definition of family is simple. It's everyone you trust to take care of you when you really need it. Middlesex Health, the smarter choice for care.
Welcome back to the Wonder, Foxwoods Resort Casino. Rooms starting at $69.
Connecticut's newest sensation is Connecticut Voice, in print, on social, and on television, with Connecticut Voice Out Loud. It's hot topics and inspiring stories from award-winning journalists every season. In the latest issue, we spend time with Kyone Wolf, a powerhouse you may know from Connecticut Public Radio. We delve into the juicy 1970s history of After Dark magazine, and we spring ahead to a better you with 7 suggestions for positive changes in your life. Connecticut Voice. Get your free subscription at CTVoice.com.
If you're looking to get out and have a little fun, there's one place that is ready to show you their adventurous side. Ashley Cole heads back to Foxwoods for an inside look.
Shopping, entertainment, adventure, celebration. Foxwoods has fun and excitement for all ages, and one of the best parts is they invite you to come as you are. Shannon, tell us about the Live Out Loud campaign and why it's so important for Foxwoods to be inclusive.
Yeah, so at Foxwoods, the Live Out Loud campaign really means celebrating and embracing the unique differences that make each and every person special. We welcome everyone here regardless of age, sexual orientation, or ethnicity. Foxwoods really does have so many family-friendly activities. This summer, we're super excited to bring back our night out at the drive-in. This is our outdoor drive-in movie theater that we brought to Foxwoods last summer, and we show a lot of movies that are classics and new favorites. So it's great for whether it be a date night or a night out with your friends or a family-friendly activity. We have amazing options that fit every occasion, budget, and appetite. One of my favorites is Cedar Steaks and Oysters. They have great surf and turf options and use fresh local ingredients. And another great place is Hard Rock Cafe. They have an amazing high energy environment surrounded by music and memorabilia and even an outdoor patio to enjoy the nice weather. After a long, fun day at Foxwoods, there's no better feeling than relaxing and unwinding in one of our luxurious Fox Tower hotel rooms. And plus, Foxwoods Rewards members always get the best rates and deals. So if you're not a Foxwoods Rewards member already, this is your sign to do so. It's free and easy, so there's really no reason not to. If you're a thrill seeker, you have to check out the Foxwoods High Flyer zip line. It takes off from the roof of the Fox Tower Hotel, which is 33 stories high, and then it soars down to the Pequot Museum, which is about a mile long at speeds of up to 60 miles per hour.
So much fun.
Yes.
That's great. And it's nice to know that no matter what your interests are, no matter what makes you smile, you can find something here for you.
Yes, there's something for everyone here at Foxwoods.
Including shopping. Now that's one thing I know right now in the spring, everyone's excited to freshen up their wardrobe and shop for others, maybe Mother's Day or Father's Day.
Oh, for sure. I mean, with the warm weather, it just means new wardrobe. Here at Foxwoods, it's really your one-stop shop for all the latest fashions and the best deals. The Tanger Outlets at Foxwoods has over 70 stores like Nike, J. Crew, Brooks Brothers, and so much more.
Shannon, it's so fun to walk around and see all the slot machines. We all know the thrill of winning. Also thrilling here at Foxwoods is karting.
Yes, so Monza World Class Karting is the place to go if you're in need of a little bit of an adrenaline rush. And this isn't your normal go-kart track. It has hairpin turns and elevation changes, and the gas-powered karts go up to speeds of 40 miles per hour.
Sounds like a blast. Now right here, we're standing right in front of the Grand Theater. Tell me more about entertainment here at the casino.
We're so excited to finally bring entertainment back to Foxwoods. We're taking all the necessary safety protocols to make sure it's a fun and enjoyable evening for everyone. We're so excited to have Dave Chappelle come see us in June, and as well as some iconic music artists. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
I absolutely love being here, and I know for certain that you do celebrations really well.
Let's talk about weddings. If you recently got engaged or you had to postpone your 2020 wedding, Foxwoods is the ideal destination wedding that doesn't require a boarding pass. We have beautiful ballrooms that are operating at 25% capacity, as well as smaller venues that can provide more of an intimate gathering, as well as our outdoor venues that have amazing views of the luscious Mashantucket forests. And our expert team of event planners and chefs and our amazing hospitality staff are really here to make your wedding day the best day of your life. And for your family to come and join us, Foxwoods is the best place to visit, stay, and celebrate.
Well, speaking of celebrating, Shannon, we've got some champagne here.
Yes.
And no celebration is complete without a toast. Cheers to spring.
Cheers.
She's a familiar face and voice across the state of Connecticut. But who really is Connecticut Public Radio's Kyone Wolf? And what's she like when she's off the mic? Ali Rivera sat down with this host with the most to find out more.
Hi, Kyone. Thank you so much for meeting with me.
Thanks for talking with me, Ali.
So we're here to talk about your latest project. You have many, but right now your latest huge project is your radio show, Audacious. So for those who don't know about the show, what is it and why is it something that you thought was important to bring to the airwaves?
One of the things I love about public radio is that they do their research and they dig a lot deeper into the things that you may not think about. And one opportunity that I saw after working there for 13 years at Connecticut Public was digging deeper into the stories of the public, the P in public, right? And, not necessarily featuring artists or authors or politicians, people who are well known, but these people who've been through experiences of which they are the expert, right? When you're an expert on your own experience, and even deeper, experiences that may be misunderstood or difficult or intimidating to talk about, and sort of reveal the voices of people who maybe haven't gotten the attention that they very much well deserve, in order that we can humanize the people that we've been sort of keeping at the periphery of our understandings.
Now, you live in Hartford with your wife. How would you say that being a member of the LGBTQ community has impacted your work? Would you say that it's enhanced what you do, hindered what you do at all?
When I came out in '96, there were already great shoulders of giants who I was standing on, who did the hard work and came out before me. And likewise, I see this new era that we're in, not only of acceptance and understanding of the varied amount of sexual orientations. The LGBTQIA+ doesn't even cover it, and it never will. But also the greater understanding of gender fluidity and how people identify one way, and maybe later in life will identify as another or not, and how just overall accepting people are being with the variety of humankind, right? And so as someone in this community in Hartford, part of me knows that, I'm representing in some way or another somebody on this spectrum. And at the same time, I'm also like, well, this isn't everything. You listen to Audacious and you're going to hear people on this spectrum and me talking about my wife. And just because that's just the way it is, not because I'm trying to wave any flags. And at the same time, it's also just part of who we are. And so I love that it comes in and out through Audacious and through all the work I'm doing as a part of it, but by no means is it absolutely everything.
Kyone, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, and best of luck with your show. And thank you again. This has been wonderful.
Thanks, Ali Rivera. You're awesome.
That's all the time we have for this episode of Connecticut Voice Out Loud. Thanks for joining us. And be sure to stay connected with us by following us on social media. And remember to live out loud. We'll see you soon.